everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2014 movie It Follows. This movie is one that I'm really late to the party on and everything. I didn't really want to see this movie, to be honest, because I thought it was going to be overrated. The trailers just didn't look that interesting to me, and I'd heard so much good about it, and for some reason it just didn't sound like something that I'd be into, which if you think of the premise of this movie, and you hear what it's about, it does seem like it's not going to make any sense and everything, but I really did like this movie a lot. It's directed by David Robert Mitchell, and he also wrote it, and this movie follows a young girl named Jay, who has sex with her boyfriend, and after they're done having sex, she finds out that there's like this supernatural entity that's going to follow her around and try to kill her, and if it kills her, then it will go back to her boyfriend and go back to kill him. If it doesn't, then, and she passes it on, then it'll go after the next person. It sounds like a really dumb idea and everything. It doesn't sound like a movie that would be appealing or anything. It kind of sounds like a B movie or something like that, but this is actually a really good movie. I was very impressed with it. The cast in here, everybody's great in here, but the lead, played by Micah Monroe, she is very good in this movie. I've seen her in a few other movies, but she's always usually a supporting role, but she was amazing in this movie, and I really like the suspense of the movie. It has the atmosphere, and it's just really eerie, and keeps you on your toes throughout the whole movie. And I thought it was a very good movie. There wasn't any time that I wasn't bored with it or anything, and I just really enjoyed this movie. The score in this movie was, I can't remember who did the score, but they did a really great job on it, and it really helps with the atmosphere and stuff. And I love, like, you can kind of see nods to Halloween and other movies that inspired David Robert Mitchell, and I thought that was really cool. The cinematography is great in here. It doesn't have a lot of kills, though. I was actually expecting it to have a lot more kills than it did, but it doesn't really bother me that it didn't, because just the way this movie was done, I was expecting a bunch of jump scares throughout this movie, and there really wasn't that many jump scares either. That's one of the things I gotta say I love about this movie. It really kept you on your toes, but it didn't like try to push jump scares at you and everything. It was just a really well made and well written movie, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit, and it's definitely going to be on my list of favorite horror movies of the decade whenever I do it. I'm currently trying to catch up on some of the more talked about movies that I've missed out on over the last decade, so I can maybe make my list of best and worst and everything, and this one definitely will be pretty high up on that list. I just absolutely love this movie. It totally took me by surprise, and it was a really great original horror movie, easily one of the best of the decade, and I thought it was going to be really overrated, and I actually have to say that it's one of the movies that actually gets a lot of critical acclaim and stuff that I actually fully agree with it on. It's just a really great movie. It has an original premise that sounds stupid on paper, but was executed perfectly, and I just absolutely love this movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely would recommend it. It is a slow burn movie, and if you're not into slow burn movies, it might bore you, but I personally really loved it. I thought it was just an amazing movie, and to me it's one of the best movies of horror movies of the decade for sure, and one of the, especially out of the earlier half of the last decade, because like I said, I didn't really start seeing a lot of the newer horror movies till the last half of the decade, and this is definitely one of the better ones from the earlier part. So I'd say I'd give It Follows a 9.5 out of 10. It was just a really, really great movie. And I know that we don't get any backstory into why the entity follows people and where it comes from or anything like that, but I love that about this movie, kind of like with the original Halloween. I absolutely love that we don't know anything about this entity, how to stop it, how it started. Well, we know how to stop it, at least for a while anyway, but we don't know how it got started or anything like that. And I also love the ending of this movie, where you don't really know for sure if they defeated it or not, and everything. I know there's been talks about sequels and stuff, but I really hope they never do any sequels to this, because this is one of those horror movies that's so great that, kind of like with Jaws, I don't think that this movie needs a sequel. But anyway, let me know what you think of It Follows. I think it really is a really great movie. But let me know in the comments what you think of this movie, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.